Ilia Topuria is one of the most electrifying names in the UFC today, a fighter whose unbeaten record and knockout power have made him a fan favourite and a feared opponent. But behind the highlight reels and championship belts lies a story rarely told, a journey from war-torn childhood to the bright lights of the octagon. In this deep dive, we uncover the shadows that shaped Topuria's relentless will, the controversies that followed his rise, and the battles he fought long before entering the cage. If you love MMA stories with real grit, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. Origins, a childhood forged in conflict. Ilia Topuria's journey doesn't begin in the spotlight of the UFC, but in the quieter corners of Europe, marked by displacement and grit. Born on January 21, 1997, in Halle, Germany, Ilia was the son of Georgian parents who had fled the turmoil and violence of their homeland. His parents, Zaza and Inga, carried the scars of conflict from the Abkhazia region, shaping the values and resilience they would pass on to their children. Though Ilia spent his early childhood in Germany, the family's Georgian roots remained central to his upbringing. The Topurias eventually returned for a period to Rustavi, Georgia, where Ilia and his older brother Alexandre faced a different kind of daily battle. According to their mother Inga's memoir, the boys were no strangers to street fights. Whenever they were in the streets, they were fighting. Imagine, multiple boys would appear. They would come out and tell you that they wanted your hat or your belt. There were three ways: giving up, running away, and fighting, she recalled. Ilia and Alexandre always chose to stand their ground, forging a toughness that would later define Ilia's approach to life and fighting. This environment marked by the challenges of being immigrants, the need to defend oneself on the streets, and the struggle to adapt between cultures instilled in Ilia an unbreakable will. The lessons learned in Rustavi's rough neighbourhoods were about more than just physical strength. They were about survival, pride, and never backing down. These early experiences set the tone for Ilia's future, teaching him to fight for respect and to never let fear dictate his path. Before he ever laced up gloves or entered an MMA gym, Ilia Topuria was already learning the most important lesson of all: how to fight for his place in the world. Escape to Spain, the making of El Matador. For Ilia Topuria and his family, the pursuit of a better life meant journeying across borders and cultures. Born in Germany to Georgian parents, Ilia spent his early childhood in Germany before the family returned to Georgia, where he and his brother Alexandre were introduced to Greco-Roman wrestling. Life in Georgia was marked by tough neighbourhoods and daily challenges, but it was also where Ilia's fighting spirit was forged. At age 15, the Topuria family made another life-changing decision. They relocated to Alicante, Spain. The move was driven by the hope for greater opportunities and stability. Arriving in Spain as teenagers, Ilia and Alexandre faced the daunting task of adapting to a new language, culture, and way of life. The transition was not easy, but the brothers' resilience and determination carried them through. In Spain, Ilia's father, Zaza, recognized his son's passion for combat sports and encouraged them to pursue their dreams. Ilia left school to focus entirely on martial arts, a decision that would prove pivotal. He soon found a home at Climate Club, a respected MMA gym in Alicante, where he trained under the guidance of coaches Jorge and Agustin Clement. Here, Ilia blended his Georgian wrestling base with Brazilian jiu-jitsu and striking, rapidly evolving into a well-rounded fighter. Ilia quickly made his mark on the Spanish regional MMA scene, remaining undefeated and earning a reputation for his aggressive technical style. His performances earned him the nickname El Matador, a tribute to his fearless approach and Spanish fighting spirit. Ilia's sense of identity remained complex. He proudly represented Spain in competition, but never lost touch with his Georgian heritage, often expressing gratitude for the support he received from both communities. Through perseverance and adaptability, Ilia Topuria transformed the challenges of immigration and cultural adaptation into the fuel for his rise. The move to Spain was more than just a change of scenery. It was the crucible that forged El Matador and set him on the path to international MMA stardom. UFC Ascent, the undefeated phenom. Ilia Topuria's dominance on the Spanish and European MMA circuits quickly caught the attention of international scouts. By 2020, his undefeated record and highlight reel finishes made him one of the most sought-after prospects in the sport. The call from the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, was inevitable, and Ilia seized the opportunity with the same fearlessness that had defined his journey so far. Topuria made his UFC debut on October 10, 2020, stepping in on short notice to face Youssef Zalal at UFC Fight Night. Despite the pressure and the late call-up, Ilia delivered a commanding performance, earning a unanimous decision victory and announcing his arrival on the world's biggest MMA stage. This debut was just the beginning of a meteoric rise. Ilia's next fights showcased his finishing ability and relentless aggression. He scored a stunning knockout against Damon Jackson, followed by a first-round KO of Ryan Hall, a highly respected grappler. Each victory not only extended his undefeated streak, but also sent a clear message to the featherweight division. A new contender had arrived, and he was not to be taken lightly. Perhaps the most defining moment of his UFC career came at UFC 298, where Topuria faced the reigning featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovski. In a performance that stunned fans and pundits alike, Ilia knocked out Volkanovski in the second round to claim the UFC featherweight championship, cementing his status as one of the sport's elite. His victory was historic, making him the first fighter of Georgian and Spanish heritage to win a UFC title. Following his championship win, Topuria expressed his ambition to move up to lightweight and pursue a second title. While this sparked excitement and speculation among fans and analysts, he remains the reigning featherweight champion as of May 2025. Topuria's journey in the UFC continues to captivate the MMA world as he chases greatness with every fight. The dark side, scandals and struggles. Behind Ilia Topuria's meteoric rise and undefeated record lies a more complex story, one marked by controversies, personal struggles, and a fierce public persona that has divided fans and fighters alike. While his skills inside the octagon are undeniable, Topuria's journey has not been without its shadows. One of the most talked about controversies involves Topuria's ongoing feud with Islam Makhachev, the former UFC lightweight champion. As Topuria's star rose and he set his sights on lightweight gold, many fans and analysts speculated about a potential clash between the two. However, Makhachev chose to vacate his lightweight title and move up to welterweight, a move that some, including MMA legend Chael Sonnen, interpreted as an attempt to avoid facing Topuria. The rivalry has played out on social media and in interviews, with both fighters exchanging pointed remarks and accusations. This tension has only fueled the anticipation for a possible future showdown and kept both names at the forefront of MMA discussions. Topuria's outspoken nature has also drawn both admiration and criticism. Known for his confidence and willingness to speak his mind, he has never shied away from expressing his opinions about opponents, fight negotiations, or the state of the sport. While many fans appreciate his candor and charisma, others view his approach as brash or provocative, contributing to his polarizing reputation within the MMA community. Beneath the headlines and social media exchanges, Topuria's drive is deeply rooted in his family's history. Born to Georgian parents who fled the Abkhazia conflict, Ilia grew up hearing stories of survival and resilience. His mother, Inga, has written about the family's struggles and the challenges of raising two fighter sons amid trauma and hardship. These experiences have instilled in Ilia a fierce determination, but also a burden of emotional weight that he carries into every fight. Despite the controversies and challenges, Topuria's resilience remains his defining trait. He channels the pain and conflict of his past into a relentless drive to succeed, making him both a beloved hero to some and a polarizing figure to others. The dark side of Ilia Topuria is not just about scandal, it's about the complexities of a warrior shaped by war, struggle, and unyielding ambition. Current UFC matches and news, the road to UFC 317. As of mid-2025, Ilia Topuria is once again at the center of the MMA world's attention, not just for his undefeated record and championship pedigree, but for his bold ambitions and the high-stakes matchups that define his career. The biggest headline: Topuria's scheduled lightweight title fight against Charles Oliveira at UFC 317, set for June 28, 2025, in Las Vegas. This opportunity emerged after Islam Makhachev, the reigning lightweight champion, vacated his title to move up to the welterweight division. Topuria, who recently vacated his featherweight belt to pursue new challenges, now stands on the verge of making history as a two-division UFC champion. With a perfect record of 16 wins and no losses, Topuria has already demonstrated his ability to compete at both featherweight and lightweight, including a memorable knockout victory over Jai Herbert in 2022 during his brief foray into the higher weight class. Charles Oliveira, a former lightweight champion and one of the UFC's most prolific finishers, is widely regarded as Topuria's toughest opponent yet. The anticipation for this bout is immense, with analysts and fans debating whether Topuria's striking and relentless pressure can overcome Oliveira's experience and elite submission skills. For Oliveira, the fight represents a chance to reclaim the title and reaffirm his legacy. For Topuria, it is the opportunity to etch his name among the sport's all-time greats. Looking beyond UFC 317, Topuria has openly discussed his ambitions to pursue greatness across multiple divisions, even hinting at a possible move to welterweight in the future. As he continues to chase new milestones and break barriers, the MMA world is watching closely to see if Ilia Topuria can become one of the rare champ-champ title holders and further redefine what's possible in the UFC. Legacy, warrior or villain? As Ilia Topuria's career continues to reach new heights, the debate over his legacy grows ever more intense. Is he a heroic symbol of resilience and ambition, or a polarizing figure whose boldness sometimes overshadows his achievements? Like many great champions, Topuria's story is layered and complex. For countless fans, Topuria is the embodiment of the modern warrior spirit. His journey from the challenges of immigrant life to becoming the first Georgian UFC champion stands as a testament to grit, discipline, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. He is celebrated in both Georgia and Spain, uniting communities that see in him a reflection of their own hopes and struggles. Young fighters across Europe look up to him, inspired by his message that adversity can be overcome with determination and hard work. Yet, Topuria's legacy is not without controversy. His outspoken nature, willingness to call out opponents, and high-profile feuds, most notably with Islam Makhachev, have made him a divisive figure in the sport. Some critics argue that his confidence borders on arrogance, and that his brash public persona can sometimes overshadow his exceptional skills inside the octagon. These debates, however, have only amplified his fame, turning each of his fights into must-see events and every interview into headline news. What truly sets Topuria apart is not just his undefeated record or technical mastery, but the psychological edge forged by his life experiences. The scars of his family's displacement, the lessons from the streets of Georgia, and the discipline honed in Spanish gyms have all shaped a fighter whose complexity matches his talent. Whether fans see him as a hero or an anti-hero, Topuria's story resonates far beyond the cage. Now, as he stands on the verge of potentially becoming a two-division UFC champion, Ilia Topuria's legacy is still being written. One thing is certain: he has already left an indelible mark on mixed martial arts, challenging and redefining what it means to be a champion. From the streets of Rustavi to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Ilia Topuria's journey is one of extraordinary transformation. His life, marked by the scars of displacement and the fire of ambition, has made him both a champion and a symbol of resilience for fans across the globe. Whether viewed as a hero, a villain, or something in between, Topuria's story is a testament to the power of perseverance and self-belief. Continues to chase history and break new ground in the UFC. One thing is clear: Ilia Topuria's legacy is only just beginning. Drop a comment. Is Ilia Topuria a hero or anti-hero? Don't forget to like and subscribe.